Don't sleep in the subway. Don't sleep in the subway, darling. Don't stand in the pouring rain. Don't sleep in the subway, darling. The night is long. Forget your foolish pride, nothing's wrong. Now you're beside me again.
You know that young lady?
Petulia?
Petula Clock.
Petula, that's right.
Petula Clock.
Petula is
Some
what you call her.
some
Rayford
called her-
likes her.
Some called her
Yes.
Petula.
Yes,
She's nickname was Pet Clark.
right. Pet
So,
Clark.
Anyway, from about early 60s, mid 60s, something like that. Don't sleep in the subway, darling. There's a good reason for that.
You get shot.
New York City subways have seen a recent string of deadly attacks with at least 8 murders this year. 8. 8 people have been murdered on New York City's subways.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a mass killing, but it's not involving guns?
Sounds serial to me.
Uh-huh. One of those tragic cases was the murder of Tommy Bailey, the 43-year-old husband, father, stabbed to death while riding on the subway in Brooklyn. He was a hardworking man, a loving father, and a husband. He leaves behind 3 kids who said their dad was a hero. Friends of the family are asking for community support following the tragedy. Here, he's a local 638 union steam fitter, always stuck up for what was right. That's what witnesses said he was doing moments before he died when he stepped in to defend a female cop who
Oh,
was being
gosh.
harassed by a man.
Wow.
That man pulled out a sharp object and slashed Bailey in the neck.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Makes me think of an officer here that was killed that way
Yeah.
many years ago.
Yep. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown,
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
and welcome to. We got to see what do we call that situation there going on today? I think I had another. I pulled up another song, right?
Uh-oh. Oh gosh.
He's so
I know what it's going to
ridiculous.
be.
What's it going to be? What do you think it's going to be? How about let's go back to 1963. Jan and Dean from 1963, Surf City.
2 girls for every boy.
There you go.
Rayford's in his glory this morning.
No, I'm just takes 2 of you to keep me under control.
That's
True.
true.
You're out of luck. It ain't going to happen. And you know that.
I know.
So, anyway, how's your? It's cold.
It is.
It was
it's
a little
nippy.
chilly. I thought it felt so good though.
36 degrees it is right now at the New River Air Station.
Yeah.
The Weather Bureau out there.
My heated seats felt good in the car this
I
morning.
bet they did.
Oh, I know.
Did
I
you
had
start
mine
them-
on high.
Did you start them in advance?
No,
You didn't.
I forgot till I put the keys in my hand. I'm like, crap, I have a remote start, but I was
Yeah.
walking out the door at that point. But mine get as soon as you hit that button, they warm up.
Oh
Start
yeah.
warming up,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
know. I thought about Skyping in from the truck, sitting in that warm front
Had the
seat.
heat blowing. And,
Well, it's warm in
yeah.
here, so we.
Rayford, I have never seen it this chilly in here. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just making a general.
It's
statement.
69.
Normally we come in here and because the air
We're-
conditioning, we had a split system here.
Yeah.
Right.
One air conditioner for 2 parts,
Mhm.
and the one part it keeps it just where it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
But in here,
It makes it normally
we-
sweltering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to. Thank God nobody's in
Mhm.
here early morning
Yeah.
except us.
Yeah.
So I can drop that temperature down, and
Right.
it'll be like 68 degrees in the other part of the building,
Yeah.
and 70. We'll get it
Like
down to about
75,
74,
yeah,
75.
Yeah,
75.
it's
Yeah.
like 77 when you first walk in here in the
or
morning. So,
sometimes 82.
yes, and we're sitting here just like sweat pouring off
Mhm.
our
Not today,
faces.
buddy. 69.4 according
Yeah.
to our thermometer there.
It feels wonderful.
It's
Well,
all
It's a little
right.
chilly,
I
but I'm
like
not
it.
complaining
It's
about
okay.
it.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
either. I love it. I finally got my thermostat changed over to heat too. It's one of those digital. You have to. It took me forever to figure it out, but I finally got it done.
I don't do that. Those programmable things.
Right.
There's a Robbie in not my household.
Well, I did
Well, I do
have
Everybody-
mine.
it.
Robin don't even know how to use ours. Yeah.
Everybody needs a Robbie to
Uh-huh.
figure this
I
stuff
do.
out.
I
do
had it
ours.
connected to the internet where I could just go to my phone app and change everything
Well, that's what
from
she
there.
does.
But I got knocked out of my Wi-Fi. And so trying to get back, and I know Steve Goodson from Jones Onslow said, text me and I'll send you the instructions. And I have failed to do that. But
That's on you.
I know that's on
Okay.
me.
Well,
but I
when-
did get it turned over to heat.
Well, my daughter put it on heat, but then didn't set the temperature. So when I walked down, I did the upstairs last night, but she had told me yesterday I turned the heat on downstairs. I walked downstairs, man, it's cold. And the dogs looked like they were cold. I'm like, it's cold down here. Yeah, she had it set on heat, but set on 60. I'm like, what is happening? So bump that thing right up to 70 as I left, so
Uh,
the dogs will be
Everybody else will
toasty.
be happy.
That my pets will be
Yes.
happy. And
Robin will be good,
well, upstairs was fine because
but he's got to come downstairs.
but only to leave. He'll go to walk out and go. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be warm by that point. It's probably toasty now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, a lot going on in the world. We got some guests today. We've got, of course, Dr. Rose at a little after 8 o'clock, and
Yes.
I'm going to talk to her about this new thing that they developed at Boston University. Why are researchers doing that? I still can't get a good answer. Came up with a new virus, a variant of COVID-19
I saw
that kills 80% of everybody that it touches or everything that it touches. They gave it to mice and 80% of them died.
Will it kill flies? You know, this is the time of the year where all the flies want to come in your house because it's warmer in the house.
How about roaches? Roaches
Oh,
do the same
go.
thing. Palmetto bugs and roaches.
Ugh,
They love coming in when it gets cold outside.
please.
You know, they make a real good crunching sound when you
Oh
step
God, I
up.
can't do it. I have to get I always keep the vacuum cleaner somewhere near.
Well, they're
and
going to
that
live in
I
a
see
vacuum
one.
cleaner.
No, I have one of those rainbows. So once they get sucked in, they're in the water, and I just let it
Oh.
run for a few minutes so that things get beat all around. It's like being in a bad surf.
Yeah. Okay, whatever.
Kill that sucker.
Yep. It's time for some ranting and raving. What do you
Okay,
think?
go right ahead.
Y'all up for it?
Hey,
Do
I'm
it.
up for it. Yeah,
I
we're
probably need to
good.
turn your mics down
oh no.
All right.
to keep you from interrupting.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'll be
Okay.
quiet.
It's about political sabotage and hatred. As an independent thinking American voter, that would be me. What I'm going to say is going to tick off some Democrats and Republicans. It's okay. I got broad shoulders and body armor and locked doors. Yesterday's news. Let me just read some stuff for you. Republican lawmakers reacted to a report that First Lady Jill Biden was upset that nobody tried to stop President Joe Biden, her husband's last solo press conference. That was 9 months ago, by the way, in January of this year. The New York Times reported that following the president's press conference in January, where he did not follow then Press Secretary Jen Psaki's cue to wrap it up, the First Lady tore into top White House officials by demanding to know why no one had intervened. Now we really know what Jen Psaki, why she was replaced. Thank you, Jill. Apparently, the First Lady knows a train wreck when she sees one. That's what Republican Austin Scott told Fox News in a statement. I think everyone in the White House is concerned that the president will accidentally reveal the Biden-Harris administration's true agenda. I've already told you what that agenda was. I've been telling you for a year and a half, going on 2 years, what the whole agenda was. Senator Marsha Blackburn, also a Republican out of Tennessee, told Fox News Digital that it's apparent the president is not in control of the West Wing. No kidding. The American people are watching the situation with the president very closely, she said, so are other world leaders. It's apparent he is not in control of the White House, his staff, and the issues of the day. House Republican Conference Chairwoman Elise Stefanik of New York quipped that the president of the United States should not need a babysitter when he talks to the media. Apparently, Joe Biden does. Representative Jeff Van Drew, this is all yesterday's news, by the way, another Republican said, the American people put Joe Biden in office and deserve to hear directly from the president himself. Our country does not operate under surrogates in chief. I like that. If Joe Biden is not able to perform his duties as president and talk to the American people on a regular basis, then he should not be running the greatest country in the world. I agree with that too. The American people deserve answers, not from his staff, not from his press team, but from the president of the United States of America. Representative Ronnie Jackson, guess what party he's with? He's out of Texas. Accused the First Lady and senior White House staff of running a cover-up operation to protect their own self-interests. He took aim at the president's cognitive state. He's right. I got to give it to him. Bravo to the staffer who exposed Joe Biden, he said, by confirming that he isn't the one calling the shots in the White House. 9 months ago, the First Lady unloaded on the White House staff for allowing her husband to humiliate himself at a solo press conference. We all know Joe Biden isn't capable of making his own decisions and needs constant supervision. This administration has practically turned the White House into an assisted living facility. The fact that Joe Biden and the senior White House staff are running a cover-up operation to protect their own self-interest is dangerous for the country. Absolutely. Joe Biden has concerned me for a long time, even before he was vice president, but that's not a problem for me. That was Delaware's problem. He was never the right person for the job that he's got now. But as a so-called moderate, the Democrats thought, and rightfully so, that he was the only Democrat who could beat Donald Trump in 2020. It was not the Democrats' intentions to see him serve 2 terms. Their intent was to make sure that the DNC's chosen replacement in the middle of the first term was going to be Kamala Harris, and that's why she was picked as Biden's running mate and why she dropped out of the race for the nomination in 2020. Does anybody disagree with that?
No.
No.
So far, so good, until it became obvious that she was not even close to being presidential material, an embarrassment to Democrats and anyone else with half a brain. So there they are, stuck. A man who cannot handle the job, not because he's an idiot. He is not. It's because there, but for the grace of God, go you, me, and every other man and woman on the face of the earth. It's not fair that the DNC puts politics above the needs of a man, any man, but they did. It's obvious that just like any boxer in any fight, that the Republicans will take advantage of the opportunity to destroy the Democrats' leader of the pack. A boxer finds a cut over a guy's eye, and guess what he's going to start doing? He's going to punch him in the eye, make him bleed.
That's right.
That's what they do. That's all that Joe Biden is to them. Once he's out of office, he'll be put out to pasture and won't likely live very long. What I want to hear, who I want to hear from, are realistic Democrats, all of y'all, who see what's going on but refuse to acknowledge it. You haven't heard anybody refute what these people were saying yesterday, not on any of the networks, maybe some commentator somewhere, but you haven't heard hardcore Democrats come out to say, oh no, y'all are wrong. He's a good man. He's smart. He's not an idiot. He's
I have
not.
yet to hear anyone.
Nobody has disputed that. Not from the Democrat side. Shame on the Democrats, all of them, for allowing this to happen. I'm not a Republican, and I'm repulsed by the actions of Republicans willing to publicly destroy a man who is obviously on his way down, and the Democrats who have used and continue to use, misuse, abuse a man who is down for the count. Shame on all of us. This is our president.
Pretty sad.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
I do too. We've lost the middle ground.
We have lost
There
the middle
is no
ground.
middle anymore.
None.
It's either extreme left or extreme right.
This man was probably as close to the middle as he could get, but he was way over the hill, not in age, but
Right.
in his abilities
Mhm.
to work through anything. He was the best that the Democrats could come up with. Excuse me?
I agree. You think about it.
Yeah.
But I
That was
think
the best.
no, I think they looked at it as he was the easiest to control.
Yeah, probably to manipulate. Right.
That too.
Because look at when they initially came out before, I guess, before they selected him, you had what, 15, 20 of them
Whatever. A bunch.
signed up, wanting to run, however many there were.
And Kamala Harris was pretty much at the top of the heap there for a while.
Yeah, but I think they saw their group to choose from and felt that he was the most easy to control.
Well, not only that, but he's the only one in that group that could beat Trump.
Yeah, that too.
It's because they were
Yeah.
controlling. They were
Yes.
behind the scenes making all those things happen.
And because they had started 4 years earlier.
Right.
They started the day that Donald Trump was elected.
Right.
But also too, Biden people knew who he was because
Yes, they
being the
had name
VP under
recognition.
so that's
Right.
they were also counting on that.
Yeah. Well,
But the other ones, if you look back at a lot of the ones that were running, they were like
okay. Tell me, other than Kamala Harris, name 5 that were running. on the
Um,
Democrat
gosh.
side.
Hold on, I see I see their faces back.
Pete
It's
Buttigieg.
only
Pete
been 2
Buttigieg.
years.
Yeah.
There's Pete Buttigieg.
There was
Um,
Pocahontas. What was her name?
Elizabeth Warren,
Yeah.
name
Yeah,
recognition,
yeah.
so much for that. She could run
Um,
as Pocahontas and maybe get elected.
Mhm.
Gosh.
Okay, so
I see all their faces.
I can see a lot of their
I
faces.
rest
Kamala
my case.
Harris.
You
but
rest your
yeah,
case. Exactly.
yeah.
Everybody
this-
who knew the name Joe Biden, and they could put a face with it.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
But also, he was. But if you go back and look at some of the ones that were running, I think they were too untamed for the Democratic Party. They
Sure
could,
they
like I
were.
said, they couldn't. They
Yeah.
couldn't guarantee what they were going to do, or if they would fall in line, or whatever.
Well, they
term you
told
wanna
Kamala
use.
Harris what to do: pull out, and we will make you VP,
And they did.
Right.
Yeah.
and
I
then
think
you'll be
but I think
president
they
in
have-
2. Then you will be president in 2 years and 1 day from the day.
But
you
I think
take
they've
office.
regretted that
Mm.
choice.
Oh, they have.
Yeah,
So
'cause
now
of
they
the
got to
V-
keep Biden.
The Democrats hate her.
Now
Yeah.
that they've got, because she will be worse than Joe Biden.
Well, what has she done?
Nothing.
That's right.
But I think that's part of the problem.
And I
Well,
don't
that's
think
part of the,
she's going to
that's part of
let.
the plan.
I don't think she's going to let the club control her if she was to get into the presidency, and that's why they're going to make sure she doesn't get it.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's already happened with her being VP, that they realize
Oh yeah,
you know,
they
that
know
she
she's
hasn't-
not.
yeah.
She's not
she
their
hasn't
choice
let them
anymore.
control her.
Well,
now.
I think putting her up there and helping her to get elected was part of the wokeism that they've have.
I just think
regretting
going on, yeah.
no, I think they misstepped with her, and they thought they could bring her into the fold, and have realized they
How'd
can't.
that work out for them, huh?
Yeah,
Huh?
I think
Yeah.
they.
It's a
made
sad
a
state of
mistake.
affairs that we're in. A sad state.
That's what I think.
All right, let's take a break. We'll take your calls when we come back after weather. If you want to chat, you want to come on, Democrats, get off your butt.
Come on, anybody.
Ring us up and talk to us. Tell me
Right.
why I'm wrong, or tell me why I'm right. You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WDSME, and we'll be right back. Mercury Marine. You've heard the name. It's a decades-old company, still going strong in the marine industry. If you're in the market for a new motor, perhaps your old one just ain't what it was 40 years ago, then look no longer. Stop by Tideline Marine in Jacksonville. They have several Mercury outboards in stock right now, with more on the way. If you're thinking about the future, now is the time to stop in, talk with George, tell him what you want. He can get the motor you want on order for a spring delivery. A small down payment will make sure you get exactly the motor you need. Tideline Marine and Family, your hometown Mercury dealer, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Tired of the winter weather already? Are you? You're not tired of the winter weather?
Well, I just had one day of it.
Well, that's enough.
Yeah.
There's some good news, though. A general warming trend is forecast late this weekend to this weekend. Turn your heat, so you'll have to turn your heat off again, then turn your AC on.
Mhm.
Northwesterly winds today offshore 15 to 20 with gusts to 25, diminishing to 10 to 15 in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 4, dominant period 5 seconds. Sounds and rivers are choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. Northerly winds 5 to 10 tomorrow, becoming southwesterly in the afternoon. Seas around 2 feet, dominant period 7 seconds. That's a great day.
Mhm.
Seas only 2 feet. Same thing on Friday. Northerly winds 5 to 10, becoming northeasterly in the afternoon. Seas around 2 feet.
Today, sunny, high of 60. Gusty winds with gusts as high as 15 miles an hour. Tonight, frost, otherwise clear, low of 35. I
Oh.
know. Tomorrow, areas of frost before 8 a.m., then sunny and high of 66. Tomorrow night, clear, low of 41. And on Friday, sunny, high of 70.
Well, Doug has been, I guess he's got house arrests now. You're back, Doug?
Yes, I am back, and I'm back with some good news.
What's that?
We don't know how to read the good news and what it exactly means, but the numbers are good. On Monday, in the state of Georgia, we're getting ready here in North Carolina to start early voting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Early voting started in our friendly neighbor state, Georgia, on Monday. In 2018, the last time we had a midterm, 70,000 people turned out for the very first day, and that was a record-setting election. It was the highest midterm turnout in 40 years, 70,000 4 years ago.
And that's
on
Georgia.
Monday, 130,000 people showed up in Georgia. That's huge. That's presidential election numbers.
So,
I mean, we are getting a
let me ask you
presidential
this,
turnout for a midterm.
Doug, so where do these people come from? What other states do they come into Georgia from?
Why would you say that? Why would you not just embrace the fact that people are probably on both sides excited about this election?
They're excited, but with all the you can't have a voter ID, you can't do that. And how many of these people just registered to vote in Georgia?
I don't know. Does it matter if they just registered? If they registered?
If they're from somewhere else and they go back home and register to vote there, then vote there too.
Oh my gosh, these conspiracies in your mind, Ray.
No.
Let them go.
I am a realist, Doug. You know that.
No, you're not. You're just making up conspiracy theories in your mind because 130,000 people turning up is not necessarily good news for your side.
How many of them were independents?
I don't have they haven't broken down the numbers. We just know the overall turnout number.
Why not? I mean, it's easy to do.
I'm just telling you what was released.
So
you should be. There's only one correct response to this. That's great news. People are taking this election serious, regardless. We don't know how they voted or how they're who's going to benefit from this high turnout. But the correct response, if you love American, if you love democracy, is this is great news. People are turning out.
I always question.
I've got a conspiracy theory.
I always question anomalies. This is apparently an anomaly, right?
No, it's not at all.
Yes, it is. It's the first time they've ever done
An
that.
anomaly is something you can't explain. We can explain this exactly what's going on.
Well,
people are motivated.
You have your explanation. I have my theories.
No, yes, exactly. I have rational explanation.
No,
you have
I didn't say that.
theory.
You have your explanations. That's how you call it, and I have my.
And
theories.
you have your conspiracy theories.
I have my theories. I didn't call it conspiracy.
Well, that's what they are. Here's why people are motivated. One, you can't discount the fact that a number of people are going to be showing up because of the economy. You can't discount the fact that a number of people are going to be showing up because Roe v. Wade has really ticked them off.
Not in Georgia.
So right there, you have people coming out from opposite sides, and you can't discount the fact that a number of people are showing up because they feel that democracy is on the ballot in this election, and if they don't win this election, then our democracy is gone.
You're giving people
So-
way too much credit. They're turning out because of the inflation.
More so than abortion.
Yes, absolutely.
You're saying that mostly,
Even your president, Mr. Clinton, said it's the economy, stupid.
yeah, 1992, when Roe was still legal. Roe is the most. Let's go to Lee Burrows, a former county party. When you county party official, when you hear that turnout is high on early voting, what is your knee-jerk reaction? Who does that benefit?
People are looking for change.
Lee.
No, seriously. If there was
Lee, show me an election where Republicans have had more early voters than Democrats.
well, are you talking locally or are you talking nationally?
I'm talking nationally. And in Onslow County, I suspect you're always going to have more because there are more out
No,
there.
Onslow County is
Early voters
notorious
tend
for
to be more liberal.
No, I
That's
wouldn't
why you
say
guys
that.
want to get rid of
I
early
wouldn't
voting.
say that.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think we need to get rid of early voting. I think we need to trim it down a little bit. I don't think it's necessary to go
3 weeks.
at
I
3
agree.
weeks
Yeah.
and the long hours. I think it's a lot of money spent
Mhm.
and
Wasted.
wasted, because I guarantee you go out there Thursday morning, Friday morning, Saturday morning, all next week. I mean, there's not going to be many. There's going to be more candidates there than there are people voting. And that's usually how it runs. And Onslow County is notorious for very low turnout on early voting anyway.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of Democrats in Onslow County.
No,
I don't know who this is good news for. I don't know how these people voted, but overall, when you have it's an 85% increase. I was going to say almost double, but it is almost double. But when you see on the very first day, and if that should hold out, you are going to see presidential election numbers in a midterm. That's something we should all applaud.
Well, I
Who
agree
is
with
being
that.
more motivated to vote? I think you're being idiotic if you don't think women aren't offended by Roe and aren't getting to the polls. Women and young people. That affects a lot of people's life. That's going to be a motivating factor. And you can't argue that.
So
You just can't.
you're saying the pro-murdering staff is the ones that are turning out. The pro-murdering voters are the ones that
No.
will be turning out.
No.
They're you
Do
say
you think there really
you
is
say that's
anyone
not
who's
murder?
pro-murder?
you
Do
say
you think
that's not
there's anyone
murder?
who says, I'm gonna, here's Rayford's conspiracy theory. He believes that there are people who say, I'm gonna get pregnant just so I can have an abortion. Nobody wants to have an abortion, Rayford. Come on, you're better than that.
Oh.
Anyone who faces that decision is a personal decision. It breaks their heart when they have to do it. Nobody says, you know what? We need more abortions in America. Nobody says that. And for you to call these women
then why are there
pro-murderers is
more
horrible.
abortions? Then why are
horrible.
there more abortions in America? If they're not,
Why are there what?
Why are there more abortions in America
Then what?
than there were before? I mean,
They're not.
It's been on the
They're
increase over
simply
the decades.
the abortions
How
have
many
gone
people?
down.
How many babies have been killed in the last, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years?
I don't know. Do you know the number?
I can pull it up. It's available.
Well, pull it up. Pull it up. I guarantee you,
I got
since
two
the
ladies
morning
with
after
it.
pill has gone down, that abortions have gone way down. That I know for
The
a
morning
fact.
after pill.
Yes. Which
I
stops
don't have a problem with the
fertilization.
morning after pill
I'm not saying I do.
because the morning after pill stops anything from occurring.
Yep,
I have no
before-
That's
problem with
correct.
that.
Before
And
there's
since
conception.
that pill has come down, abortions have plummeted.
Plummeted. Okay. Well,
Yes.
Lee, have you pulled up the numbers?
I'm pulling them up.
yes. Yes, I'm trying to get to the a good website, a legit website. You know what I'm saying?
Does that mean you didn't like the first set of numbers
No,
you
I
saw?
just I don't recognize who they are. I don't go with them. But it says over the years, the total number of abortions and rate of abortions per 100 pregnancies both have come down significantly.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Lee. What was that?
Yeah, you heard me. The primary reason.
No, I did. Did you say, Doug, you were right?
No, I did not say. I said they have come down significantly. The primary
Okay,
reasons
so you
for
were
these.
inferring, Doug, you were right. You were saying Rayford was wrong, Doug was right.
Well, it says the primary reasons for these changes have been better and more readily available contraceptive methods and
including
changes in the demographics and backgrounds of the women choosing abortion over the years.
including some of that contraceptives would be the morning after
And
pill.
what's sad is they say political issues related to abortion in the United States have also affected women's reproductive and health rights. Once again, political issues.
According to this, in 2020, there were 900 in 2020. This is the latest numbers according to realdiapers.org. They try to be unbiased about everything according to this. Number of abortions 2020 930,160. In 2019 there were 916,460, and in 2017 there were 862,320.
So from the numbers, what was the last number you gave out? What year was that?
According to this, 930,160. Apparently, according to this, it takes a couple of years to get
No, but you went 2020, 2017.
to 2019, 17. For some reason,
Okay.
it didn't list 18.
I just want everyone to think about this. The numbers that Kelly just gave. She gave the numbers for 2017, 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
3 years in which Donald Trump was president. So when Donald Trump was president, abortion was on the increase.
Yeah, it was. According to this.
There you go.
Under
Under Democratic leadership, abortions always go down. It's an anomaly, as Rayford said, that we can't understand. And by the way, only one candidate for in this midterm has openly, is it public knowledge, has paid for an abortion, and he's not a member of the Democratic Party.
Well, he claims he didn't pay
Yeah,
for
he
it.
claims he did.
Yeah, but there's a check stub that says he did.
But the check stub
Right
doesn't say what it's
there.
for.
It is
just,
right there. He's also a guy with multiple. If we can't agree that Herschel Walker should be no place near the U.S. Senate, then the Republican Party is totally lost.
Okay,
Well, I
here's
think
another news story. New York Times just posted abortions increase in the United States, reversing a 30-year decline, report finds. So here you go. Here's
when
a
was
different
that?
side of it. That was just June 2022. The number of abortions in the United States have increased, reversing what would have been a 3-year decline. So there you go. So you've
No,
got
it took you a while to find it. So we saw a spike this summer. Yes. You know why? Because you saw people, that was right after Roe was taken away. When you take away people's rights, then you increase the odds that they're going to have an abortion. People will fight the system.
well, the issue I have
That was in
is
June. That was after Roe.
with,
That was after Roe came out. People lined up to get abortions.
but with the availability of birth control as it is, there should be no reason to get an abortion unless there's a situation of rape or something like, or incest perhaps. But I mean, there's too much, and there's, like I said, there's a morning after pill. There should be no reason why
Kelly,
what.
true or false? Do you agree with my opinion that this is going to be a motivating issue for some? Rayford said, "Oh, absolutely
I
not."
said
Do you
not,
think this
I
will,
did not
this,
say for some.
You said
for
that.
I
You said,
I said
you
it's
said that you
not going
called
to
them
be the
murderers.
number one thing. Inflation's going to be the number one issue.
right now. That's
God.
the number one issues with the voters. It's not the abortion. It's
Kelly,
inflation.
do you think this is going to be a motivating factor for some people to get out and vote?
I think for some people, but I don't think it's the number one factor. I think the economy is the number one. There's too many people struggling right now. But I think for some people, abortion is a big deal. Yes. But
Thank
I think,
you.
but I
Thank
think,
you for
but you
validating
got-
my point.
And
But-
for everybody, inflation and the economy is the issue.
Yeah, for everybody.
right.
But Doug, here's the thing too. I think the abortion issue for some people, or the people that are anti-abortion, are going to make certain to go out and vote for the candidate that they think will ensure people can't get abortion. So I think it's going to cover both spectrums, the pro-abortion and anti. I think you'll see people that's their sole motivation for voting. If you were to ask them, I think they're going to be neck and neck as to, I don't think one group will be higher than the other if that's their sole reason for voting.
I don't think so either.
I think it's going to be on both sides in that respect. People either for it or against it, because that's a very hot topic.
Let's go back to the stats out of Georgia you're talking about. Do you have any idea what the ages were? Yeah, we know the numbers. You know that. But
Well,
there's got to be some ages there.
According
Somebody
to
has
this, the
done
majority
this.
of abortions
No, I know.
U.S. are people in their women in
Well,
their 20s.
Yeah.
right.
But I'm talking about the number of people who voted on the first day of early voting in Georgia.
They haven't given any demographic numbers. All they have released are the total number of ballots cast.
Then that doesn't mean a whole lot to me.
No, I told you up front, we don't know how to read
It
these
could
numbers.
be.
We do know in 2018, Democrats outperformed in the state of Georgia Republicans in early voting by 7-3.
But I think the difference
So-
between 2018 and now is the economy was better in 2018 than
Yes.
it is now.
Economy was better.
Well,
but
yes, it was, but
wasn't the
also the
number one
difference.
issue.
And keep in mind, 2018 was a huge year for the Democrats. That was the year the Republicans lost the House. 2018, people showed up, largely Democrats, because they said Trump's got control of the White House. He's got control of the Senate. He's got control of the House. We need to have a check on him. And people showed up in droves, and it was a record turning election. We have doubled those marks.
But I think
Whoever
now,
these people are voting, we have doubled the marks from 4 years ago.
but I
That's
think
incredible.
you're going to see that this time as Biden's, the Democrats have the House and Biden's in charge, so they're going to flip it back. That's what I think. I'll be shocked if that doesn't occur.
I think they will take back I think the Republicans will take back the House. I
Yeah,
think the
pretty much.
Democrats will increase their lead in the Senate.
Yeah, and I think the
because
Senate
They
is
don't,
that's
going
have
to
a, they
be
don't have a lead in the Senate.
the Senate's one is
They
going to
do.
be
They have a
iffy.
tiebreaker.
They have a tiebreaker. That's not
Right.
a lead.
Yes.
Nobody
Well,
thinks
that's
they'll
picking semantics
yeah,
right
they'll
now.
get up there. Yeah, I don't know.
They're,
I-
they're going to win in Pennsylvania. Georgia looks good. North Carolina is scary. Did you see Marco Rubio yesterday? He looked like he was torn to shreds by Val Demings. There's about 5 seats that could switch, and really the only Democrat incumbent in the Senate who is in jeopardy is the woman in Nevada, and recent polls show her with a slight lead. So, if all we're saying, I know it scares you, and that's why you want to deflect these numbers. All we're saying is people are turning out, and that's good news, regardless of who they voted for or who they are or what their demographics
I
are.
want to see
This is good news.
I want to see the total number of voters increase on the day of the election at the night's end. I want to see a larger number of people voting than voted in 2020. That's what I want to see. That includes.
Well, you won't see that
You
because
won't
that was
see
a
that because
presidential
it's
year.
a midterm. It's
That
a,
includes
Yeah.
early voting. That includes everything
yeah,
else.
it would be great.
I want to see more people voting overall. I don't care about the early voting. In fact, I don't.
Well,
I
but
don't
if
even
that's what you want
support
to see,
early voting.
ultimately, the point is we're off to that start in the very first day of voting anywhere in this nation. There's already been 2 million ballots cast, which is far above anything we've seen across this country this early on in the
I'll wait
election.
till November 8th, as always.
Okay. All right.
Thank
This
you,
is
Doug.
good news, regardless of how it breaks, although
So,
it's going to probably break for the
Have you
devil.
registered your child there to vote yet?
No, that
Well,
was
you're
the
the
election
only
fraud you
Democrat
guys
who
said.
has not.
You tried to fill out an election thing for my dog.
No
I did.
way.
I
Did
That's
he
how the
really?
fraud
I did.
that you guys do.
Did he really? Oh my goodness.
Yes,
We won't
he
tell
tried
you
to
where he
register
got
my
that
dog to
idea.
vote.
Oh my.
All right.
I did not know that. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
You're live at
Yeah.
Local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM WSME. We'll be right back. And we're back, 910-333-0139. We love spirited conversations.
Yes, we do.
And sometimes we just disagree because we want to.
Well,
I still can't believe you signed up Littlefoot to vote.
Well, it was not in this county.
I know.
Jason, it's okay. Jason's
Yeah.
Deadman's out there. He's probably having a hissy fit.
Yeah. You
Probably
did it down
him.
in New Hanover where Doug lives.
Yeah.
Jason just needs one more thing.
And four
Poor
other counties
Jason,
too.
yeah.
But
Since he's been election director, everything has happened on his watch.
poor guy.
Everything.
You go get Doug
Is it his
arrested.
fault? Good morning. Who's this?
Hey guys, it's Steve. How y'all doing this
Good
morning?
morning.
Hey, Steve. We're having a blast. How are you?
Oh, okay. I was listening to you, Doug, go back and forth, and I think you just poke him sometimes.
No,
He does.
You think?
Can you imagine how it was when they actually worked together? How they used to, work together.
He worked for me.
Yeah,
I
Rayford
can
was
see
his
why
boss.
that's
Can you
not a thing
imagine?
anymore.
I would have loved to just sat in there and listened to it. Just
Oh, it was
not
fun.
done anything. I would have just sat there and just listened.
Actually, Doug challenged all the. Well, he was the assignment manager. He's
Mhm.
like number 2 in the building, right?
Mhm.
Number 2 in the station, in the newsroom. So he took care of the reporters and made them justify what they were doing, why they were doing the story a certain way, and that's challenging. I like that.
Mhm.
If
I do
you
like
can't,
that. Yeah.
if you cannot defend your position, then
Mhm.
you shouldn't be doing it.
I agree with that
So
statement. Yeah.
Doug was absolutely superb in that.
it
Sometimes
sounds like he's
abrasive,
still
but-
doing that. It sounds like he's still doing that from time to time.
Of course
They
he
do it.
is.
I hear you.
All right, what's up?
Yeah. Oh, not a whole lot, man. Listening to y'all this morning, and the whole thing with the voter turnout in Georgia and everything. I think another way to come from it, coming in between the liberal and the conservative, is that there was a large turnout in Georgia, and it's going to be interesting to see what motivated that.
It is. That's what I want to say.
We don't know. We don't know. And like I say, I think you were poking him when the first thing that you threw out there was, that maybe there was massive voter fraud and tens of thousands of people
course.
illegally voting. Yeah, and of course, that we can say that's possible, but it's not probable.
Not likely.
Not likely at all. Yeah, Lee, I would ask you,
Yes, sir.
did you trust the Democrats in the polling stations when you were?
Well, I
involved with
was
the
right
Republican
out there
Party?
working side by side with them, and I can say right here in Onslow County, I saw no issues whatsoever.
They had perfect integrity as far as you were concerned in that.
Well,
Position.
I wasn't questioning their integrity. Now, I can tell you that there was a few issues that I had on the Republican side that we had to address, and we took care of that right away. But as far as my personal, what I saw and observed, I mean, I stood right side by side with Democrats and handed out my stuff. They handed out theirs, and I saw nothing during my time
Right.
out there at the poll, nothing at
And-
all.
And what I would put out there as a point, the reason why I asked you that is that that's pretty primarily the way it is all the way across this country. It's not a centralized government that runs these elections. It's the local people. It's your friends and neighbors.
It
That's
is.
right. I
And
agree.
for something like what you suggested to happen, they take so many people to be corrupt for that to happen. It
That's
just don't
right.
happen. It's never happened in all of American history. Have we had 50,000 people that voted illegally?
Well,
It's never happened.
each party has the right to have trained poll observers and judges there. Each side has ample opportunity to have people.
Right. Our
to
elections
watch.
are pretty secure.
That's
I
right.
mean, we have a lot of people just like Rayford down there waiting for any morsel of improprieties to happen
Right.
so they can jump all over it from both
Absolutely.
sides.
I mean, there's always
Yeah,
going to be
from
little
both sides.
things like somebody crosses that 50-foot line by half a foot or something, then somebody gets mad and reports them. But, little things like that I've seen, and that happens all the time. But
Nothing
as
that
far
would
as-
affect the outcome of any
That's
vote
right.
anywhere.
That's the
That's
bottom
right.
line. You can't
Right.
say that even 50,000, if there were 50,000 illicit, illegal votes out there,
Right.
that's probably not going to affect a presidential election.
No.
On a local level, where maybe like in North Topsail Beach, 50 people, 150 people vote.
Holly Ridge, North, the
Something like that.
municipalities, right.
You
Right,
can
right.
have a handful that will absolutely put a write-in candidate in and has done so.
That has done so.
Right.
So
Yes, we
you-
were surprised
you,
with that.
You can have a very small number of people, and I'm not saying the write-ins
Effective.
were illegal or
Mhm.
anything like that. They were not. but you can have a very small number of people swaying an election.
And that's like in 2020.
right.
I sat there many of a night at the Board of Elections while they ran the absentee ballots.
Hmm.
And they did it with such efficiency.
Yep.
And there was no question of fraud or dishonesty. It was all right there in front of you. I learned a lot about the process. I sat right there next to a Democratic representative. We watched the whole process, and I never saw anything that was anything but, pure, right on the target.
All right. Steve, we got to take a break.
Well,
We do
all
have to take
right.
a break here. We'll get up against the
Well,
wall here,
Raven's
and
gonna
then
get yelled at.
the computer shuts
Oh,
me
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
He gets in
I
trouble.
got
Thank you, Steve. You're live and local Real Talk. We'll be right back. And we're back just for a couple of minutes before the next break. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning. It's Jason Dedman.
Oh, you heard your name, didn't you?
No, actually, I heard something about 50,000 voters, and there was a guy named Steve talking, and then Lee, you spoke a little bit, and I was thinking, man, I wish I had heard more about that. I don't know who the Steve person was, but I think he was trying to make the point that on the tail end, I don't know what happened.
He
before
was
I
making a
tuned in.
point that this allegation of fraud at the
national
level, and we were discussing about how Onslow County runs clean.
Oh, okay. Well, I did hear your portion, and I can confirm that Lee and I maybe saw her more than my wife in 2020 with, and not just Lee. Every time Lee was there was a Democratic representative,
Right.
and then the board members were there, and everything we do is open to the public. Matter of fact, we've already had 3 absentee by mail board meetings. And just to give a nod to both parties, there's been representatives outside in addition to the board members at each meeting as observers.
Mhm.
And believe it or not, we actually have a good time while we handle our business, and everyone gets along because they see that the process is fair. And when they're approving those absentee ballots, they don't know if those are Democrat ballots, voters inside, or Republican. Despite what some people put on social media, those envelopes, there's no way to tell if they're a Democrat or Republican on the
That's
outside.
right.
So they're reviewed.
That R and D doesn't mean anything. It's no special coding for you.
There's nothing on there. No. There was something circling around in 2020 that said that that's what they looked like, and we hadn't even started sending them out yet in North Carolina. So I knew that wasn't truthful. But yeah, all of our meetings are posted on our website, and for the entire election season, there's no surprises. The whole thing is there. The canvas, the hand-eye recount, the absentee by mail board meetings, and the public is invited to each and every one of those. So if you do not believe in election integrity, I would encourage you to come to those. And also, the next time we have an election, some of those people who doubted some of those people who doubt it, they turn out to be some of our best poll workers, because once we actually train them and they work in the election, they realize, oh my gosh, there's 12 people in this polling site, and all 12 of us would have to agree for something funny to go on, and they're not going to agree on what to have for lunch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Jason. Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
All right,
Jason.
tomorrow's the big day.
Yes,
We're
sir.
sending all the stuff to the site, so you don't have to vote early, but if you want to, tomorrow's the big day. 8 a.m., 7:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, no Sundays, all the way through November 5th. And I appreciate y'all letting me get that out there.
Yeah, anytime, and we'll do it time and again between now and then. I would just encourage voters to make sure you know who you're voting for and who these individuals are before you go vote, whether it's early, by mail, or on the day of the election. Do your due diligence. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
You too. You're live and local Real Talk. We'll be right back. Howard, hang in there. And we're back, and joining us on the line, Howard. Good morning, Howard.
How you doing today?
Doing fine, sir. What's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to remind you to please ask Ike Johnson how he feels about CRT.
Oh, most definitely.
It's
Now,
on the
I just
list.
scheduled what day?
Tomorrow, Thursday,
Thursday. That's
Yeah,
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
tomorrow, 7:30.
Because I gotta agree with you. I gotta agree with Kelly on this, and that is, if he gets elected and he turns around and is an advocate for CRT, I'll be the first one to start the recall petition.
Okay.
You know, because it's not right when they tell you one thing and they do another thing.
Well, we'll find out what he thinks.
Yeah, and I also wanted to get your opinion on how in the world can they have a fair trial in Washington, D.C. for anyone convicted of a crime if they're a Democrat. I mean, they're acquitted. They might as well not even have the trial. What is it, 90% Democrat in D.C.?
At least.
Yeah. So, I mean, I couldn't believe that. Well, I could believe it, but I'm just saying, can't the prosecution ask for a change of venue?
What party is the prosecution on?
Well, that was, what is it, Durham was the prosecutor. I mean, he was they're supposed to be fair and unbiased, both sides. I'm just saying, I don't think that was a fair trial whatsoever.
Mhm.
Just like the other guy that got acquitted.
Yep.
So he spent all this time getting the cases together against these guys, and they just get acquitted because they're in a Democratic venue.
I
know
don't.
what I mean?
I don't know why they were acquitted. I don't understand it. To me, the evidence was there in pretty much every case, and I just don't know. I can't understand. I really don't.
No, I can't
hope-
either,
I
and
hope
that's the
it's-
thing that bugs me.
I hope it was not just for politics. I hope there was something there that I have not seen.
Well, I don't know. It's just like when they called me for federal grand jury, not federal grand jury, federal jury,
Oh Lord.
and it was a racketeering case against the Teamsters.
Mm.
And they asked me, because I was a potential juror, if I could find the Teamsters Union guilty of racketeering, and I said, no, I'm sorry, I could not. And they said, well, why not? I said, because I'm a member.
Oh, does make a
They
difference.
said, you're excused.
Well, at least you were honest about it.
Well, that's the way they should be too. They should ask him now, would you have any problem whatsoever finding this guy guilty, even though he was affiliated with the Clinton campaign? And then they should honestly say no, because I'm a card-carrying Democrat, which I'm not.
Yeah.
God forgive me for saying that. But the thing is, that's the thing. And I have to admit to one thing. Remember when I made the statement I hadn't voted for a Democrat since Lyndon Baines Johnson?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I take that back. I voted for April Wood,
Okay.
the state auditor, because I think she's doing a wonderful job and she deserves to be in there.
All right.
And that's going back to the better person won.
There you go.
And I don't have a problem voting for a Democrat if they're the better person. Unfortunately, we haven't run into that too often.
All right, Howard. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one. Dr. Rosemary Stein, good morning. How are you, Doc?
I am doing well. Just got back from sunny, warm Dominican Republic, where I was
nice.
visiting
No,
my
wait a
daughter
minute.
Hannah.
Wait a minute. Why didn't you take
Nice.
us with you?
I am sorry. I'll have to issue the invitation for the next visit. I
Mhm.
forgot.
Yeah. Well.
That's
Well,
okay.
I keep reading about all the nice dive sites around that area, and I'm looking into it.
That's good. That's good. But I don't think that you would enjoy where I was visiting. It was the capital city,
Oh,
which
no.
is called Santo Domingo.
No reason to go
Too
there.
many folk in just a couple of square miles. Everything is growing, but it's all growing up, which makes the city completely congested.
I want to be in an area that doesn't have traffic lights like Bon Air.
They have those in the DR. Yeah, you can find plenty of places to have a winter home over there.
Yeah, okay. That sounds good.
Dr. Rose, I got a question for you.
Absolutely. I
hearing-
love your question.
We're hearing a lot about RSV. Is it bad up there? I know it's on the rise down here.
It is, and I'll tell you, it's very unusual to get it this early. Once again, it doesn't bode well for the winter that we're getting these common childhood diseases at such an early phase in the cold season.
We're even seeing some adults down here with it as well. It's not just, I know it historically has been a kid disease, but there have been some adults that have had it as well, which is that unusual or is that a par for the course?
Actually, adults get RSV. It's like a really bad cold. We've never tested for it before the pandemic, so we sort of had an idea when adults had it because then the kids did. We've never tested much under 2 years of age because otherwise it's just a really bad cold with very thick mucus. It seems like it's getting people more severely sick than that now. I don't know if it's because most of us did have COVID, and because of that, our sinuses and the lining in our respiratory tract has suffered and doesn't work as well, so can't get rid of all that mucus. It does seem like some of the older kids do have a worse bout of it, and the adults as well. But the disease is supposed to be most dangerous to children under 1. We actually had a 2-year-old that was in the PICU for almost a week, just a couple of weeks ago, which is that is really unusual. She did well; she's fine now, but we're just being hit with some illnesses that are out of character.
Well, let me tell you another one that's running rampant down here in Onslow County. We had, I work in 2 different offices, and in both offices, this was spread through people's kids. Hand, foot, mouth. I don't know up until
Hand, foot, mouth.
yeah, and I mean it is very contagious, and we had one person in my immediate office, their kid one kid brought it home from school, and then the whole household got it. So I said, nope, you didn't come to work for a week because we're not doing that. And then in the other office, the main office, both sets of now none of these kids go to the same school, so it's not like they all went to just one school. And it ran through both of their households, came into the office, so I won't even go set foot in that office because I'm not touching anything. But are you seeing that up there? Because I've had about 5 or 6 different clients as well that they've come down with it.
Explain to us, Doc, hand, foot, mouth disease.
Very contagious.
What is it?
Yes.
I thought only politicians had that.
Yeah, no, that's funny. It's sort of a cousin to the chicken pox. So you'll get these vesicles or like little bubble things, but instead of getting them on your dry skin surfaces, you get them on wet surfaces like your mouth. So you sweat a lot on your hands and your feet. That you can get it there. You could also you get it in your groin area. And so what you have are these very painful sort of blisters with a fever and just feeling awful. We do tend to have that a couple times a year. It does seem, once again, like this year is more severe and it's spreading quicker. So before you would just have a case pop up and then, maybe you had another person have it, but it seems like it's much more contagious so that and you can't figure out the line of who you got it from as much, but you're getting a lot more pop-ups than you were in the past. So once somebody does have it, you really have to make sure that you clean the spoons and whatever eating utensils that you use. Throw away your toothbrush. Your glasses need to be disinfected because it does spread through the saliva.
Yeah, very, very quickly.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Makes you not want to touch anything. And that's why parents need to be aware, even here in Onslow County, that it is spreading down here like wildfire. Lee's over here scratching.
She's
about to make me start itching. But it's rough.
And it's quite dangerous, like for older adults. And one thing going backwards is that you can this is one of those diseases you can have over and over again. So having had it does not confer immunity unless you just had it, and then you might not have it for a year or two. But older folks, especially like in nursing homes and all of that, that's very dangerous because it makes them not want to eat and makes them feel miserable. So they get dehydrated very quickly, and the things that come with that. So if a child has it, keep them away from grandpa and granddad, and don't take them in to visit if they're in an assisted living facility.
And if your kid has it, don't go to work because, you know,
Don't
and
go to
spread
work.
it to everybody at the office. Like I said, my employee, she can't come to work for a week because we're not getting the whole office sick. It's not just flat out not happening. My immune system is, you know, tanked right now anyway. No way. But I'm putting it out here to the general public. If you see me in public wearing gloves, do not
hazmat suit.
shame me because I'm not trying to touch a cart and get something. There's too much.
I got a wetsuit for you.
I need a bubble. Just put me in a bubble
Well, you
right
put
now.
a wetsuit on, you're pretty much in a
because I
bubble.
don't want to touch a cart. This I know from what even my doctor said. Hand, foot, and mouth is highly contagious.
Ooh.
So no,
Okay.
yeah, it's.
I think that
gross.
right now it's a good idea to make sure you carry around your own little bottle of sanitizer.
Yeah.
And sanitize everything.
I think
Mhm.
drinking it would be
I
better.
think that's the. I'm sorry.
Drinking it would be better. Just start from the inside and never work out.
We need those spray things like the CDC has when you go into the lab and they spray you down to to kill whatever you've been working with in there. Everybody needs that in our houses. Spray it off and you're good to go.
I
Yeah.
can go get me one
Yeah.
like I had to wear down at the nuclear power plant.
Yes.
I used to have to go in to shoot pictures.
I
Oh,
want
my
that. I'm
Lord.
telling you, I don't want any other illnesses. I know the flu is.
Thanks.
Look,
Yeah.
hand,
Just-
foot, mouth is, but it's very big down here in Onslow right now. So the public may not know it. If you got kids, please,
Now
kids.
we're all
touch
itching
anything.
right
Yeah.
now. I just she's scratching the back of her
Lee's
head.
over here
Lee's
Oh
scratching.
my
right,
God.
and
I need to
Lee's
go outside
scratching.
in the chilly air and walk around.
And the flu, I've heard the flu was rough. So,
That is true. There's a lot. There's quite a bit of flu right now.
Okay, I've had my flu shot. I've had my COVID shots.
So have I.
Where did I get this hand, foot, mouth thing shot?
I don't think there's no vaccine for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't exist.
They haven't created
So
one.
they've got these clowns in Boston at Boston University
Yeah.
building the absolute deadliest case of
COVID.
COVID, 80% fatality, and they can't fix this other problem.
The
Why are
hand,
they
foot,
building?
mouth?
Why aren't they working on something they can do something about?
I agree. I don't know. Maybe it's not a priority to them. But
Oh yeah.
the hand, foot, mouth looks gross. Trust
So
me.
go build a
Yeah.
go build a virus that is 80% fatality fatal. No,
I know. I'm here.
you researchers need to get your
No,
acts
Lee,
together.
Lee, I'm on.
Ugh.
Lee's making me scratch over here. So,
It's
Lord.
just, gosh, I tell you, I don't know whether we go to a doctor or a veterinarian anymore, you know?
Oh, that is funny.
Dr. Rose, I had a client, Lee, you probably cover your ears for this one,
Okay.
that had scabies.
Okay.
Whaties?
Scabies. Explain to the public how you
Oh,
get
Lord.
scabies. I know how, but for people
Well,
that don't know.
It's a tiny microbug, and it likes to burrow under the skin. So it's not unsimilar to lice, but it's lice that lives under the skin surface.
Mhm.
So once it gets in there and it just burrows its way down, you can not really see this thing just to the naked eye because it looks like maybe a speck, if even that. But it burrows under the skin, it gets in there, and it multiplies, hatches its little eggs, and that's when it likes to have humans as hosts when it's about to lay its eggs. And then it starts spreading around and making little burrows under your skin, itchy as heck. It really, especially gets little kids right at the base of the fingers. Makes them itch so much that they don't know what to do with themselves. Poor little guys. Gets them in there. Then obviously kids scratch, and then they scratch your little butts, and then they scratch your neck, and then they scratch their armpits. So it gets in all of those little crevices.
It does.
It spreads like crazy in daycares, or if you have like family that's visiting and they're sharing a bed, it's on your sheets, it's on your pillowcases, and
They're
the
sleeping on
same
the floor.
medication. Yeah, the same medication that worked for lice before works for it. But the thing is, when you put it on there and you leave it on for 8 to 12 hours, the little buggers don't like to die, so they sort of they throw a little party right before dying underneath the skin of whoever's infected with it, and it's a terrible night. So you'll feel like you're itching and almost dying, and then everything's all right the next morning. It does come back very quickly. So you have to disinfect all of your towels and your sheets and the clothes you wore, blah, 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 with very, very, very hot water. But it's a very common childhood disease because, children are not the most hygienic. But
Dirty little
if
boogers.
you really put your mind to it, you can get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
Well,
now that we've creeped everybody out,
you've really done it today.
well, I mean,
Really pick some diseases.
this is important, but this is stuff that's actually happening here in Onslow County. So I want our listeners to be aware that this stuff's out there. I mean, it's like this. It's no fun right now.
I'm going
Yeah.
to go take a hot shower
Yeah, I'm
with
telling
my
you.
clothes on.
Yeah.
Maybe a can of Lysol.
That too. We got some right out there. So anyway, doctor, thank you. I think.
You're very welcome. Well, if you ask me questions, I'm going to answer them.
Well,
So
that's what we like.
So maybe Kelly only gets one question.
That's
time.
it for the rest of the year.
We're all freaked out. You guys have a great week, though.
You too, Dr. Rose.
Thank you.
Holy
I
moly.
guarantee you, all our listeners are sitting at home scratching right
Well,
now.
they are, but
every
they
one
better
of them.
be.
And they've probably had some really nice things to say about us.
I got my back scratcher.
But
ready.
I want everybody to be aware because I'm telling you right now, this hand, foot, mouth thing creeps me out, and the scabies thing creeps me out. Like people need to know because if you don't know, you don't know. Be careful what you touch, and
Well, the county
tell you-
commissioners meeting, the
Yes.
health department gave a report on gonorrhea and syphilis in this area. And
Oh, great.
Onslow County is above the state rate.
we always are. Yeah.
I mean, I was listening to that and I was just getting ready to make dinner and I was like, I'm not even hungry anymore
Yeah.
listening to all the stats.
You're live and local real talk, I think. To Real Talk
Oh my gosh.
on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM WSME. We'll be right back, maybe. Marine forecast brought to you by Tideline Marine right here in Jacksonville. There's a sale going on. I just got it hot off the presses. George sent me some information for you guys who need two-stroke oil for your outboard motors, your two-stroke motors, like Yamahas and Mercury's and whatever. They got Yamalube on sale. Yamalube two-stroke, a 1 gallon, normally $40.15 is now for the month of October, $34.99 for the rest of the month, $34.99 a quart, which is normally $11.15, is now $9.99 for the four-strokers out there. Yamalube 4M, a gallon, normally $31.85, is now $29.99 a quart. Was $9.10, now $7.99. That's a pretty good savings on it. Yamalube oil, and there's a lot of other savings happening right now as well at Tideline Marine. Stop by, check them out, and check out their Facebook page, tidelinemarine.com, tidelinemarine.com, and you'll find a whole bunch of good sale items going on right now. And weather. Are you tired of this cold weather yet? Please say yes.
Okay, yes.
'Cause
No.
It's going to get better.
Good.
Lee's not. She likes it.
I love this type of weather.
Jeez.
Oh, just the fall type.
Because it gets warm in the daytime.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's just nighttime.
Well,
But
you're in
it's
your
good
house.
sleeping weather. Cuddle up with your blanket and your dogs.
There's some good news for me then. It's going to get warm later this week.
But the
Yeah,
spot are running this month too.
that's okay.
That's right.
The spots are fish, folks. For
Right.
those who
We
don't
need
know,
to go fishing.
we need to go catching.
Yes, catching.
So offshore today, northwesterly winds 15 to 20, gusts to 25, diminishing to 10 to 15 in the afternoon, 2 to 4 footers, dominant period 5 seconds. Sounds and rivers are choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. Tomorrow, northerly winds 5 to 10, becoming southwesterly in the afternoon, seas around 2 feet, dominant period 7 seconds. Northerly winds on Friday 5 to 10, northeasterly in the afternoon, seas around 2 feet.
Today, sunny, high of 60 with gusts of high as 50 miles an hour. Tonight,
Gust
Clear.
as high as what?
15 miles
Oh,
an hour. What'd you
I
think
thought she
I
said
thought you
50.
50.
No, 15.
I was like, I got to go home and batten down the house.
15 miles an hour. Tonight, clear, cold, low of 35 with frost. Tomorrow morning, frost before 8 a.m. and then otherwise sunny, high of 66. Tomorrow night, clear, low of 41. And on Friday, sunny, high of 70.
So I told you it's going to get warmer.
I'm sorry, I'm still scratching.
I know.
Janietta walked in the door scratching. Like we're all scratching.
Tanyetta Hill. Good morning. How
Is
are
that
you?
right, Tanyetta?
No, Tanyetta. You know how some
Tanyetta.
people spell Tanya with an A.
Tanya.
Tanyetta.
Tanyetta. Yep.
Tanya.
Tanyetta.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Oh,
like that.
okay.
So
My
I was
mom's
right.
name is
That's beautiful.
Tanya.
I was right then.
You were right.
Yeah, you go.
Good
Well,
job.
God bless your mother giving you a name that's so pretty.
Bring the microphone around.
All right.
to right. There we go.
Thank
Perfect.
you. Good morning.
Tanya, do you have an idea what you're asking for?
Do I have a what?
An idea what you're asking for?
No, not at all.
Not in
Not-
here. I'm talking about on the Board of Education.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready for that.
Okay.
You ready to fight? Ready to rumble?
I don't think it's going to be a fight. You know why?
Why?
Because once I get on the board, I feel like everybody is going to be.
They're going to do it your way.
I'm a very persuasive person.
I had that feeling.
And
I
in
am
case-
the baby girl and the only girl.
Oh.
And
I
in
like
case
that,
the
yeah.
listeners are, wondering, she's running for the Onslow County Board of Education.
She is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think she's the only Democrat on the ballot, and then the
Yes.
others are Republicans. But and she was at, she
Got a
was part
picture
of
for
the
you.
forum. No, don't do that.
Listen, it's okay.
Well, that's your motto, right? I mean, that's your symbol.
I actually like elephants myself. I do. Look, I have elephants. I like elephants.
love it.
They're good luck.
I like this
And they're
girl.
very
So-
smart.
And we're
And they have
a
excellent memory. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like your picture.
Mhm.
So now that we
It's
got the donkeys
it's
and
a
elephants
picture of
out
a
of
couple
there.
of donkeys
Yeah,
down
I
in
know, I
Bon Air
love
where
that.
they
You
wander
took
the
tho-
island.
You took those, didn't you?
I'm gonna bring a frame
Rayford
for
took
that.
picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, you got to be ready for this stuff,
That's
right?
right.
But no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Rayford. What were you gonna say?
The school board, we've had some strange doings, shall we say,
Slightly.
for the past couple of years. And one of the school board members who claimed he was a Republican, got elected as a Republican, became a Democrat again, and then got booted off because of various actions. is the school board so tainted that you really are comfortable in running for a seat there?
I don't think that it's tainted. For me, that's not my point of running. My point of running is the kids, and the faculty and the teachers. I feel like we need to get back to that. All this nonsense division, like that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to bring the village back together. I don't know about you, but when I grew up, I had a village. My mama couldn't be everywhere, but best believe my mama had somebody that
Was always
was
there.
always there.
Okay.
And I better not do nothing because I'll get my tail toed from the time I got to do whatever I did to the time I got home, you
I
know?
had that.
So you're in
My-
favor of corporal punishment, is what you're saying?
Absolutely not. Don't you do that.
Listen,
No,
I
but-
do. I get into
I'm just in favor of us coming together,
Mhm.
bridging the gap for the teachers, giving them more resources to help the children, the faculty all around, because it does not just teachers that make the school run, it's the faculty as a whole. So that's what I'm here for.
excellent. I like that. And
I do too.
there's got to be some. I'm not going to say that school systems, not this one, but school systems nationwide are getting a lot of attention because of the shenanigans that they've been doing.
Like what?
Well, let's just go to what's that county up in
Loudon
Virginia?
County.
Loudon
the one
County.
I love to talk about.
Where they like to fight a lot.
Yeah.
And
Well, they try to do a bunch of nonsense up, but the parents
Yeah.
set them straight.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they don't want the parents to be in control of their own kids. They know better.
You mean as in school?
Yeah, the school system seems to know better.
In
and
other words,
it's-
the
Yeah,
school
be more
system-
specific about
the
what
school
happened.
system is saying you don't know what's best for your child. We do.
Oh.
So so Rafe is trying to see where do you stand on with that kind. Do you have that mentality?
Oh, well, I'm glad Onslow County, I don't feel like they're like that. I feel like for me, I would bring the parents, hey, if you have a problem, let's come to the table and figure it out. I don't know your child individually, so I can't just say this works better for your child. No, I want you as a concerned parent to come to the table and let's talk about it, because I can't make decisions from behind my desk and say this is blanketed, because every child is different. Every person is different. So according to policy, we would need to figure out what works best for your child. And I welcome that to anybody. I've had parents coming to me about IEPs that haven't been fully met and the child getting into trouble. And so my solution to that is, hey, mama, bring that child, the administration and the teachers to the table and say, this is not working. And if that doesn't work, then we go to the board, because that's what the board is for. So there's always checks and balances and all of the things that help, make it flow.
What's the biggest issue facing the Board of Education these days, like Onslow County specifically?
Specifically, I think that just division. It's just division, but I think that's
On the board, or
just because we put an R and a D behind things.
Mhm.
If we would have just kept it best person winning,
Mhm.
I don't think we would have had certain people on the board whose agenda was not the children and spoke openly that their agenda wasn't about the children. What are we here for if not for the kids, the faculty, the teachers? What are we here for? So I think that's the biggest issue that we have right now. But hopefully once I get on the board, we can diffuse all of that, because now we have a D, air quotations, on the board, But I feel like at the end of the day, if it's all about the kids and the teachers, the faculty, then we're
when
good.
it was nonpartisan, I will tell you very quickly, and I'm thinking of about 4 of the 7, if not 5 of the 7. It
Were
was
Democrats,
nonpartisan, but they
yes.
were
They were
Democrats.
Right.
So they were elected as Democrats.
Okay. Because we went for the best person, right? Not
That's right.
necessarily who did what. And that's how I feel like I'm the best person.
Or the most politically motivated.
Right.
Well, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So what is your thoughts on IEPs, 504s, the EC community?
Explain yourself.
Yeah,
Okay,
You're
these-
talking in code
Okay.
for a lot of people.
For kids that are exceptional learners, they are
Mhm.
neurodivergent, they may be autistic, they may be on the spectrum, they may have processing disorders,
Got it?
they may have learning disabilities where they may be in the 3rd grade, but they're reading on the kindergarten level, for example. So you can have an IEP, which is an individualized education plan, or a 504, which is a little similar. And this is a plan that the parents, the teachers sets, and the school sets in place. So if a kid needs extra time to take a test, or they need one-on-one for whatever, that is done. But what is your opinion on that? I have two questions. I'm gonna go with that one first because I want to jumble them together.
Okay, so what's my opinion
So
on?
look, how do you feel about IEPs and 504s in the school system, especially in Onslow County schools? Do you think that having them is a good thing, or do you not want to have them?
Oh no, absolutely. I think it's a good thing. Like we were just saying, not every child learns the same, and so having these things in place helps the teacher, because if I have a child that's not understanding, then what are they doing? Being disruptive. So the child that does understand is not learning. So having those specialty things in place helps overall the teachers, the class, that student in particular as well.
Okay. And then my next question is, how do mental health has been on the forefront of a lot recently. And do you think that mental health plays a role in the success or failure of children in the schools?
I think the support of mental health issues plays a role in the school system, like whether the child does good or not. Because if we have support, we know mental health plays a role in everything, in every facet of life, right? If you're just down blue, you're not really going to be your best self. So if we have people, more social workers, more counselors, just to help the kids going through more speech therapy in schools, things like that, that can help alleviate the stress for the kid and the teacher, because now that child who's just misbehaving, maybe because they're feeling a little bad because they're not understanding, maybe that can even help bullying as well, because we know that hurt people. So if that child is feeling like, I'm not getting it, now I'm going to start picking on the smartest kid in the class because they get it and I don't, maybe that can help with that as well, since we know that bullying is an issue as well.
I agree with you 100%. I'm a counselor, so
Oh, nice.
yeah, I agree with that 100%.
I'm a
And-
behavior social sciences
so
bachelor's
see, I
degree.
knew you. I saw you.
Yeah, right
I saw
for-
you at the forum, and
You
I
want to go get a
knew
biscuit?
your answers. I knew that you had some kind of background in it based on the way you answered some of your questions. Now, do you know? And this would be as a board member. The board sets policies for the school, both I think for the teachers as well as the kid policies. The teachers now have what is called professional development. Where school is dismissed usually half a day, and then the teachers go
Today
to
is a
some
half
kind
a
of.
day.
Oh, is it? Okay. Now, how do you feel? This is something I have suggested that needs to be done. I don't think it's being done, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, if it actually is. But a lot of times these board development days are due for the teachers to have some kind of training. I, as a mental health therapist, feel that teachers should probably have some kind of training in dealing with, not that they're not diagnosed or anything, but a lot of kids in this day and age have ADHD. Teachers are not always equipped on how to deal with these kids, and you could have 5 kids in a room with ADHD, and each is going to act differently. How would you support, as a board member, setting a policy where the teachers have to go to some kind of training on how to deal with kids with depression, anxiety, this could be just Band-Aid training, but at least give them some tools in their tool belt. So when that kid is being disruptive, they aren't just, lashing out, because I've seen, I have friends that are teachers. My daughter was a teacher, that, sometimes the teachers get so frustrated, they just automatically lash out at the kid, and lashing out at the kid with ADHD is not the answer.
Correct.
So would you support
Send
training?
them to the corner is what they used to do.
But that doesn't
Stand in
solve
the
a
corner,
problem.
put your nose in a circle on the
Well,
blackboard.
for my 2-year-old goddaughter, I put her in the corner because she plays with her fingers when she gets in trouble. She's 2. She likes to entertain herself. But for a child, I would say that's a good idea to have some type of policy. I'm not sure either, and I don't want to misspeak, but if there is, but that is a good idea to have some kind of policy where teachers can have some type of training throughout these days that they already have on the books. So it's not like we're adding more. We're just putting that in. And there may very well be that already. I'm not sure.
And there's plenty of us, like I have before in the past, years ago, I went in and did some training on substances with teachers,
Mhm.
and I would be definitely willing, because I'm a substance abuse counselor, been on that over 22 years.
And
But I'd be willing to. I think teachers need to learn in this day and age. They need to learn how to handle, disruptive kids. They need to learn how to handle ADHD and depression, anxiety. But they also need to learn, especially the middle and high school level, how to recognize the drugs that are out there now,
Right.
and the vapes, because vapes don't just always look like they,
Nope.
Right.
what you
That's right.
think.
So what I would say to that is, yes, we need to have training, but
Mhm.
we also need to implement adding more, like I said, social
Agreed.
workers,
Yes.
counselors,
Mhm.
because if we stop this, if we recognize this at the lower elementary level, that this certain child has this issue,
Mhm.
then when they get to middle school, we could already be taking care
I
of that.
agree.
It's not an ongoing rolling ball,
Where does the money come from?
Oh, there's money out there.
Oh,
for
it
that.
is plenty of money.
Mhm.
And
Really?
you know where the money comes from? It comes
mean?
from the people at the state.
Mhm.
So I don't have anything
Grants,
to do with
yes.
that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. But with what we get, we can allocate money to special places, right?
Mhm.
I think that the board, oh geez, I just came back from vacation, so. But
I know that feeling. It takes you, you can't think of anything.
I heard
Yeah.
the doctor say she just came back from Dominican
Yeah,
Republic,
yeah.
but I just came back from the mountains and it was beautiful. But okay, so what needs to happen is there needs to be some money set into these programs. It may not be a lot in the beginning, but if we have volunteers, like you
Mhm.
said, you would be
Mhm.
willing to
Mhm.
volunteer.
Yeah.
We have plenty of mentor programs in Onslow County. We have plenty of retired teachers. As a matter of fact, one retired teacher just messaged me and asked me how could she be a tutor, because she wants to be, come back and help the grade averages come back up, because I think it's 18 schools that are performing below.
Mhm.
So we have people that are willing to step up and say, hey, I know we don't have the money. Let me help fill the gap. And that's what we need. We need Onslow County to step up and be Onslow strong.
Well, North Carolina got a huge pot of COVID money,
Mhm.
and DHHS has a lot of that money, and you could argue with the the negative effect that COVID had on our students' learning.
Absolutely.
Some of that money
Yes.
could be diverted to the schools to do, like she said, hire more counselors that specifically
Who's
focus
gonna
on.
make that diversion?
Well,
who's gonna move?
It'd have to go through our state legislatures. I
Have to
mean,
go
we
through-
found money for the Dick Center. We
Well,
can find money for that.
DHHS is in charge of a lot of that money. It would
Right.
take someone just going up and speaking with DHHS, and then say, because they're giving this money out to, a lot of it is going automatically to schools, but they could say, DHHS could put a policy, you can only use this money for this purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, they absolutely have that ability. We
Go-
got to take a break.
Take a break.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. And I want to talk to you about CRT when we get back. You're live and local real. You knew it was coming. You're live and local real talk freedom 97.1, 1120 AM WSME. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back live and local, and our guest in the studio, Tanyetta. I got it right. See, I knew how to do it.
I'm proud of you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Tanyetta
I'm
Hill,
impressed.
running for the Onslow County Board of Education, a seat on the Board of Education,
Mm-hmm.
and that race is
November 8th.
3
Wait.
weeks from yesterday.
Yes.
Today's Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah, 3 weeks from
All
yesterday.
day is
Is it?
Wednesday.
You're ready to go. Early voting starts tomorrow. I'll keep reminding all of y'all of that.
Well, I certainly see your signs everywhere I go. You
Yeah.
did a good
I've
job
seen
putting
that
out
too.
signs.
Some people are
Critical
taking
race
it
theory.
down.
An idea that
Perhaps.
started as likely a very good idea, but
Yeah.
somehow got politicized
Mhm.
on both sides, the opposed and those who are for it.
Oh gosh.
What is it in your mind? What is critical race theory?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that.
I'm going to ask
So,
you.
critical race theory is a study that happens in upper education. I didn't learn about critical race theory until I was a junior in college, and I took a Black political science class.
Mhm.
I had taken 3 political science classes previous to that, but Black politics in America is what I took, and that's when I learned about political science, critical race theory. So the notion that critical race theory is being taught to our kids is ridiculous. It's not taught in K-5 through 12. What are we talking about? Why is that an issue? Let's go back to talking about IEPs and getting teachers help and things like that. We should not be talking about critical race theory at all.
We should not.
We should not. Why are we talking about that?
They don't understand.
Well, here I am to let them understand that's not an issue.
Mhm.
It has no bearing on
Mhm.
anything. Okay, and if we want to talk about history and we can't talk about anything that makes people feel upset,
Oh, no, that's wrong.
well, how do we teach women suffrage? You've
That's
always
right.
been able to vote?
That's right.
I-
That's right.
For sure have not always been able to vote.
No,
Have you
you're
always
right.
been able to have your own opinion?
Mm-mm.
Absolutely
No,
not.
no.
But so if we took out or we taught history the way some people want it to be taught, that's not accurate. That just makes you feel good.
Mhm.
That's a participation award for doing a good job. Oh, you didn't win the Super Bowl, but here's a medal
Here's a
anyway.
trophy, yeah.
No. What are we teaching our kids? That it's okay, that no matter what you win, that's not life.
Mhm.
We need to teach them how to be resilient, how to bounce back when things happen. And I feel like that's what history does. History is not always rainbows and unicorns, but we've learned it. We're learning from it. We're trying to do better in most cases.
If you know and you can learn from the mistakes of the past, then you are not likely to repeat them. But you've got to know what the mistakes were.
Absolutely.
And one of the mistakes too is blaming me for what happened in 1793
Yeah.
or
We got to get past that.
1822 or
I'm not-
whatever.
I would not blame you
I hope not.
as long as
'Cause I
you
wasn't
didn't.
there.
Yeah, but as long as you didn't carry that same sentiment in today, I have no problem
Oh, I
with
don't
you.
carry that sentiment.
Well, then we're good. Then we're
Uh,
friends. Follow me on Facebook, and I'm going to follow you. That makes it official.
There's the problem with the Facebook page. We
Yeah,
got a show Facebook
I'm gonna have to follow
page,
her.
but, yeah, you
I
can
like
do it.
her.
We're going to be friends too. Rick.
I understand,
Okay.
but you know, for the kids' sake, they need to be taught that there are all sorts of sides. What was going on in 1822? They lived a different lifestyle
That's right.
than we live today.
That's right. I'd like to think that we've gotten past all that.
We have gotten past
Yes,
most of it,
most
but
of
not
it.
Well,
completely.
yes,
Not
some of it
completely.
because
It's still there.
systemically,
It's
it's
still
embedded
there.
into the country.
It's-
So let's
it's-
be clear on that.
It's there.
We don't
but-
have to talk about, you specifically,
Yeah.
like you're not, I shouldn't be mad at you specifically, but systemically, this stuff is embedded into our country.
Yeah.
So if we are learning from the past, we need to look at the things that are hard and don't feel good and like, ooh, maybe we need to change that because
Right.
systemically it's there.
Hopefully, it's not as systemic as it once was. I can tell
Depending
you,
on where you are.
I'm a lot older than you are. Been in the South all my life,
I'm a Black woman.
and I'm not.
So your point of view and my point of view are definitely
and
different.
You're also a Democrat,
Right.
and I am not.
So
I'm also not a Republican.
Quit pointing
I mean-
fingers. Oh my
No,
gosh.
you know my feelings. I've evolved from what I grew up in
Right.
in the
Yeah.
1950s.
I feel like I have too.
I
Yes.
have evolved
And
a
that's what
lot
it's about.
because I learned more than I was just
Taught.
brought up as
Mhm.
or brought up into a society. A whole lot different.
Absolutely.
I did not have a segregated high school when I graduated. My classroom was not segregated. The classes below me were.
Mhm.
I was the last class at Jacksonville High School that was not segregated.
Oh,
Well, after we come back from break, I want to hear about your background.
Yep.
okay.
You're live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back. And we're back, and our guest in the studio, Tanyetta Hill. She's a candidate for the Onslow County Board of Education. For those of you just joining us, where have you been? You should have been here for the last 30 minutes.
That's
running
right.
running out of
So we
time.
want to know about your background.
Okay. Well, I am married to a Marine. He is
Can't
almost.
be all perfect, can you?
Oh, stop.
He is almost at 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So yes, he will be retiring soon. Thank God. I have 3 children.
Mhm.
We have yours, mine, and ours.
Got it.
Both of our boys are away in college. Sad mama, happy daddy. One goes to North Carolina A&T University. He wants to be an engineer. The other one goes to my alma mater, North Carolina Central University.
Okay.
He wants to be a business major.
Mhm.
My daughter is 14. She goes to Jacksonville High School. She runs the family.
Yay!
Yes.
Go Cards.
Go Cards. I myself am
We are both.
I'm an alumni too. So go Cards. I got my bachelor's degree in behavioral social sciences. That is a tongue twister.
It is.
From North Carolina Central. I am the vice president of the founding Onslow County Democrats. I know. That's not what I'm supposed to say. That's a no word here. But it's
No,
okay.
it's
fine.
not.
Okay.
Well, not here, because I feel this is a safe space.
Oh, it is.
I also am on the board of Aspire, Reaching Beyond the Obvious, which is a mentoring group.
I know what that group is. Yep.
We are actually, shameless plug, doing a winter closet right now. Well, it's coming up. We're taking clothes. I'll give you guys that information.
Okay,
good.
Yeah, we'll
Yes.
put it out too.
Yes.
Great.
We'll put it up on the
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just a mama. That's
There's
it.
no such thing as just a mama.
I am a domestic engineer. How about that?
That's pretty close.
That is what it is
Domestic.
called. Domestic
Yeah.
engineer.
But I
Well-
think you seem to have it, you seem to have it and a well-rounded knowledge of what the needs are out there.
I'm impressed.
And I'm very
Well,
impressed.
I
with,
am too.
Yeah, very impressed.
I told you
So I've
that.
had about 5 or 6 people text me and they're like, "We love her."
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
the
yeah,
day I
that's what-
watched the
my phone's
forum,
been blowing
I
up
was
since you've been on
impressed
there.
with
It's
you
fun.
at the forum
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank
so
you.
we got to get her on the air.
I
Yeah.
told you I'm good. I can persuade you.
I like her.
I
Well,
did too.
I am very honored and thankful that you guys reached out to have
Well,
me
we're
up
glad
here.
you
Thanks
came
for
on.
coming on. And you
Absolutely.
can tell any of your fellow Democrat friends we ain't that
Yes.
bad.
Yeah,
No,
we're not bad
yeah.
at all.
We've had Ike on here. He's coming back tomorrow, and we'll be glad to have anybody else running.
We
It
had
doesn't
Barbara
matter.
We had Barbara Gaskins
Yeah, you guys
on
have
last week.
Barbara.
Yes, Barbara
So-
Gaskins. I really liked her. And we're not looking at you because of your political party. We're looking at you.
I'm looking
as
to know
your
what you're
person.
going to do
Right.
especially for me with my grandson now being in the Onslow County public school system. I want to know because any decisions any members of that board make are going to directly affect my grandson. And if
It's
anybody's listened
personal.
to me for
Yes,
more than
personal.
30 seconds, they know how passionate I am about this kid.
Absolutely.
So
I
when you
mean,
get on the board of education, there's an issue. You just go ahead and just save her a seat.
yeah,
got
that's
it
my
right
grandson.
there.
That's my that's
Listen,
my baby right there.
They're all my babies.
Yes.
I'm the auntie who calls and says, "Hey, you did your homework." I'm the
Mhm.
mama who has the extra kids in
Mhm.
my truck all the time, who they call me.
I was one of those.
I
Yeah.
Did
am
she
that
say
mama.
truck?
Yes.
She's yeah.
See, my
Good.
kind of girl.
Good girl.
Yeah, she like, we're going to be girlfriends. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got a truck too.
Thank you for
Yeah,
coming
I
in.
appreciate you coming on.
We do
Yes.
appreciate it.
Thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is
pleasure meeting you guys,
Thank
too.
you.
And if you want to come in before November 8th again, you're welcome to come on in.
Yes.
Ring us
Uh,
up.
yeah,
and
let
Tell
us
us
know.
we're coming.
Absolutely. We're
Yeah.
family now.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
Because,
family, guys.
I do not encourage anybody to vote early.
Mhm.
Why? Because not that you, but one candidate that I might go vote for tomorrow may be doing something in the next 2.5 weeks to really tick me off. One question.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything that I would learn about you the day after the election that would cause me not to vote for you on November 8th?
Absolutely not. I feel like I'm an open book. I've had people tell me, even as of recently, like I should change my profile picture. And I was like, why? I thought I was cute in that profile picture. And they're like, you need Democrats and Republicans to vote for you. And I'm like, well, baby, if you can't vote for me because of my profile picture, which you've seen Lee,
Mm-hmm.
then I don't need your vote.
Yeah.
I thought I was cute. It was my
And
birthday.
I checked your Facebook, and you don't have rants. You don't go off on the left, don't go off on the right. You're
I'm
just
very-
you on your Facebook.
I'm me. And that's what you're
Right.
going to get on the Board of Education.
Roger
Me.
that.
Right. I like
Tanyetta,
it.
thank you.
Thank you,
Tanyetta Hill,
guys.
candidate for a Democrat candidate. That doesn't matter. Anybody can vote for her in this election.
Everybody
right.
vote for me.
Yeah.
Independents, Republicans, and Democrats, and,
Can-
and a few of those other people out there
Can
too.
I say one thing?
Absolutely.
You get 3 votes. There's 3 seats. I will just say you do not have to use them all.
That's right.
That's one football.
That's
Called
true, too.
slingshotting.
Yeah,
That's
slingshot
right.
That's
is
true
it.
too. Yeah.
Live and local, real talk. Freedom 97.1, 11:20 a.m. Tomorrow, Ike Johnson's going to be joining us in here. I think that's it. At 7:30 in the morning. He's a candidate running for one of the seats on the North Carolina legislature from right here in Onslow County. What's that? Hold on.
North Carolina House.
Did I say that?
Yes.
I thought I
Well,
did.
you said you were there. Just
Whatever.
Let's tell it bye, Rayford.
We're going to say
Yeah.
bye. And coming up right now is
Yeah.
Fox News. And at 10 o'clock this morning, we've got Rick Dees, the Daily Dees. At 3 o'clock this afternoon is Hollywood in the house. We'll see you in the morning. Have a great day.